This is the Odd Atheist Friends Podcast. What you are about to hear is just the opinions of Matthew and Erik, who are the hosts. This podcast will talk about life, love, politics, religion, and whatever else runs around their heads in the moment. Their opinions are just that, opinions, and only their opinions. It does not represent anyone else but them at that moment in time. Not their significant others, family, friends, employers, companies, or anyone else that they might know. You are probably going to hear cuss words. The hosts cuss and really don't care if any guests cuss too. If you are offended by something, this probably isn't the podcast for you. But if you like what you hear, please keep listening.
Hi, and welcome to the Odd Atheist Friends Podcast. This is your host, Matthew, and over in the internet in South Kakalaki, or is it North Kakalaki, is your other host, Erik.
Hi.
So, Erik, what's going on?
Well, firstly, I'm really excited because we both got new microphones.
Yay!
And I think we're going to sound a lot better.
I hope so. I really do. It ain't gonna talk nothing about my slipper and slur and the. I talker good words.
Yeah, me too. Especially being from North Kakalaki.
North Kakalaki.
Yeah, it's the north one.
North Kakalaki, South Kakalaki. They're both shit states.
I agree. Well, with the news of the new health care in the air.
Oh my god, that fucking piece of shit. God damn.
Yeah.
Anyways.
That's how I feel.
Fuck.
I think there's definitely problems with Obamacare, but
yes,
there are more problems with this one.
You mean go fuck yourself care?
Yeah. Well, GoFundMe care, because everybody's gonna have
I saw that meme, and it's so perfect.
It's unfortunately really true.
Yeah.
But,
go fuck yourself, GoFundMe care. Well, that's too long, but yeah.
Yeah, so apparently it sets pregnancy and sexual assault and being transgender as all pre-existing conditions.
Really?
Yeah.
But being able to not get a hard-on and having to take the blue pill is okay.
Yeah, erectile dysfunction is not a pre-existing condition. So.
That's 10 kinds of fucked up.
It is.
Which just means to go further on that Republicans, and conservative Christians do not give a fuck about women unless they're trying to give a fuck.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So, unless they're trying...
Unless they're 8 seconds of fuck.
Yeah, exactly. 8 seconds of fuck. Ugh. So, I can't believe just how fucked up they are. Anyways, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just saying it's fucked up.
Super fucked up.
So, I think today I wanted to talk about, I guess just my trans experience, because it's so exciting. I did want to reconcile on something I said in a previous episode, when I was talking about, I think I was talking about stand-to-pee devices, when I told you that they make things where trans guys can have a device that looks like a penis and then they can use urinal.
Yeah.
And I said that they would use that so they could feel normal. And I feel like I didn't mean it. I didn't mean to say that trans people are normal, because obviously trans people are normal and they exist in society and the world. But I meant to say so they can feel cisgender, but that just shows how like rooted even trans people can be in the fact that cisgender is the normal.
The quote unquote normal way to go. I mean, I entirely understand where you're coming from, trying to normalize, for lack of a better term, your existence. I mean, you are normal. God, it's so fucked up. Me trying to shift my way of thinking from thinking that trans people were fucking sinners and heathens and that kind of stuff to just being people has been hard enough. And sometimes, I hope I don't do it often, but, sometimes I may use a wrong pronoun or say things slightly fucked up. I can't imagine what it would be like to try to do this as your life. It would be incredibly difficult, and, nothing but props to people who figure out that they were born in the wrong body and I'm really the other sex or something different. I hope you understand where I'm trying to come from. I mean, what I'm trying to say here, Eric. Do you?
Yeah, I do. It's, I'm still trying to figure it all out, so... and I'm living it, so I can understand that someone that it doesn't experience it, like, personally, I can understand why that would be difficult to grasp, especially someone that is, like, raised Christian and to hate all gay people and everything else.
Yeah.
So...
they would have said some horrible things about female to male and some of the things they say about lesbians. I'm sure that you can, I don't need to say them, but I'm sure that you can easily think of them. And they're horrifying. I can't believe, I mean, I've heard people, like literally people say this. And I'm not going to say the comment because it's horrifying and it should never be said again. But do you understand what I'm trying to say?
I have a vague idea, but...
Yeah, we don't need to go any further on that. I don't want to say that. But I'm just saying is that's a horrifying thing that I've heard some conservative and Christians say about women going to trans men and saying about how they would straighten them out. It's horrifying.
Oh God. Well, I should just direct you to a movie. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's called Boys Don't Cry.
It's been a long time. When did that movie come out? It was like, what, the late 90s or something like that?
Maybe late 90s, early 2000s. Let's see.
Oh, it had to have been the late 90s. Yeah. Yeah, I vaguely remember when it came out, and I think I might have gone to see it to the theater, but I haven't seen it since I've made my mind shift to not thinking that you're heathens. So I may need to re-see it again. And
I'm curious what you thought of it before.
I
don't know.
I really didn't think much of it before. I mean, like I said, I may have caught it in passing. I really don't remember the movie. I mean, this is like 15 or 16 years ago that it came out.
Yeah,
I really don't remember the movie.
Oh, well, I'll give you a quick synopsis. It's been about a year or so since I saw it myself, but it's based on a true story. And Hilary Swank plays a female to male transgender person whose name was Brandon Tina, and basically it just follows his life and how he felt like he was actually a male and how he presented as such. And I guess the people in the town he moved to found out that he was trans, and so they decided to basically torture him, and they raped him, and they eventually killed him.
Oh my God.
And that's all in the movie, and that really happened. So it's really fucked up. So I can definitely see like what you're thinking about and how they would straighten us out.
It's horrifying. It's can we say that that's as bad as what they did to Matthew Shepard? Beat him up and then drug him behind a car and killed him.
Yeah.
How these conservative Christians and all that kind of stuff, whoever, It doesn't necessarily have to be a Christian. I mean, I've seen horrifying things from Muslims and Hindus and some other religions that are just as horrifying about to gay people and that kind of stuff. What was it? What was that fucking country? It's like one of the ones that's in Eastern Europe. He's a real good buddy of Putin. And he said that there's no gays in the country, but yet they run a concentration camp.
Oh, that is in Russia. It's Chechnya?
Chechnya. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah. Chechnya. I think they're mostly Muslim. So yeah, they do that. And what was it? I've heard something about, what was it? Some Hindus or something like that. It was either in Pakistan or India that they beat to death a gay couple not that long ago. So yeah, while it's bad here in the U.S. and sometimes people get killed, it can arguably be considered worse in some other places. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
Horrifying.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, totally side point.
No,
it's off the track.
I mean, I think it's definitely relevant, and I want to spend my life like helping people in different countries. And I spent my last summer right before I came out in Zambia, and I was teaching there. And first off, the climate toward atheists is very strange. They are all very, very Christian there, and they didn't even know what atheism was. So I explained to them all the main different religions. I was like, this is this, and it's practiced here. This is this. And all they really knew was Christianity. And I said, well, this is atheism. And they're like, well, who do you pray to? And I was like, no one. And they're like, well, what do you do at church? And I was like, we don't really go to church. They were very confused. They did not understand the concept at all. But
and I've actually had, well, not in Zambia, but I've had, with some Christians in the United States who are like, oh, well, because you don't believe in God, you worship Satan. No.
Oh, yeah.
Satan is your thing, and hell is your thing. So why don't you go to your hell and leave me the fuck alone?
Yeah, I've definitely heard that a lot. But only in America. I haven't heard it, like in Africa anywhere. Mostly because it's such a foreign concept, I guess.
Yeah, which says something about the Christian and other missionaries going over there and so thoroughly evangelicalizing, third world countries. I know of missionaries myself to South America and to Africa. I mean, not since I was a little boy, but, we're not talking that long ago, 25, 30 years ago. So.
Oh, yeah. Actually, half of my extended family is in, the church and does missionary work. And I know I have a cousin who spent several years around Africa and other places doing missionary work in, villages and stuff.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm over here trying to say, hey, look, atheism exists. But, well, actually, so I was teaching 5th grade there, and I was teaching in, a community school, and we didn't even have, we were just using a borrowed building, and I think they're still using it, but while I was there, I helped them buy a plot of land to build a future school on, which I'm currently trying to raise money for, but I'm still really conflicted on the fact that I've come out as trans now, and they probably don't want me there anymore, but anyway, while I was there, I took the kids on a field trip to the museum that was in the city, which it's a decent museum, but while they were giving us a tour around the museum, they have all these artifacts from 12,000 years ago, and it's really cool, from people that used to live there, cavemen and stuff. And while they were giving the tour, the guy says, okay, so children that you're teaching, science says this, and our artifacts say this, but we don't believe this because we believe the Bible.
Oh my God.
He literally
actually
said that.
Oh, Jesus. That's so funny.
It was terrible. I was like, I can't believe you're doing this right now. But
do you mind if I go off on a slight tangent right now?
No, that's fine.
because of the culture that we grew up in and everything, the little exclamations of, oh God, oh Jesus, that kind of shit, I think is really just because religion is just so burned into our culture that it's really hard to come up with exclamations that are not biblically related. And almost all cussing, unless you're talking about a physical act of like sex or defecation or something or puking or whatever, all the other cussing is taking the name of a god who promotes rape in a shitty town. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you can say, oh, fuck, or you can say, God damn it. Do you see what I'm saying? There's not a whole lot in between. So you're either talking about a physical act, do you know what I'm trying to say? You're either having sex or you're defecating or urinating or throwing up or whatever, but it's expelling a fluid from your body. Or you're taking the Lord's name in vain, quote unquote. Do you see what I'm saying? And I just really think that the human language is just, and especially English, is just way too small because it's also wrapped up in fucking Christianity. Okay, side point over.
No, actually, I did want to say something about that. I am terrible about saying, like, oh God. But I
know. I grew up with it.
Obviously, I don't mean, like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Maybe I mean, oh, your God, and fuck your God. And
you know, that's what we should just start saying. Instead of saying, oh my God, oh, fuck your God. That's what we should just start saying.
Probably.
I'm actually going to try to make it a conscious effort, instead of saying, oh my God, to say, oh, fuck your God.
Then you can combine two of them instead of saying, oh, fuck, and oh my God. Oh, fuck your God.
Oh, fuck your God! I think we just got our title.
I think so. That's pretty great.
Okay, I'm sorry. Tangent over with. Maybe. Continue, please.
Oh, I was going to go to Ethiopia this summer, but it got postponed until well, we're not really sure. Maybe until next year because of civil unrest in the country.
Jesus Christ. Oh, fuck your God.
I'm glad it got postponed because, well, first off, I was going there to do geothermal research and I was going to get paid for it. So I'm kind of...
That's pretty cool.
I'm upset that I'm not going to get paid for it because it paid really well, but maybe next year. But I was having a lot of internal conflicts about it because okay, obviously, I haven't had surgery yet. Well, obviously, if you've seen me in person, but
yeah,
I haven't had chest surgery. And in North Carolina, I can't change the sex on my documents, and I haven't changed the name yet because I want to change them both at the same time. But you can't change the sex on your documents unless you have a sex reassignment surgery of some sort, which includes chest surgery. So I haven't had any of that changed, but I still identify the way I do, and I go by Erik all the time. Well, like at school and stuff, and to my friends. And so, and I applied to jobs as Erik, and I applied for this as Erik, and I had my letters of recommendation written as Erik, and I got, like, it was 6 people got chosen for this job, and I was one of them. Yeah, and it was through several different, like, schools in my state, like, universities, so it was really cool that I got chosen, but...
We should say this. I knew you before. We were kind of pen pals on a kind of a diary page. So I knew you before, but I just call you Erik because that's how you identify. So I just want to say that.
Right.
Side point.
Yeah, we actually, I guess we've technically known each other for like 8 or 9 years or something, but we never really talked.
Kinda Facebook shit.
Yeah. And I always found your Facebook posts very interesting. And that's how this podcast started. I commented on a Facebook post.
Yeah, pretty much. And I just got tired of just, waiting to get my name mentioned in podcasts. I'm like, do you want to be my podcast buddy? And you were like, yeah. And so that's really kind of how it started.
Yeah.
So.
Great story, bro.
Cool story, bro.
Yeah. So, anyway, since nothing has been changed, although technically I could get a passport. Passports are a lot easier to get, but it would say I'm transgender. It wouldn't say I'm a male. So that's theoretically even more dangerous. I don't know. But
yes, especially if you're going to someplace over there. I mean, I'm always like, only do what you can do unless you're safe. If you are going to be unsafe in any way, whether it's financially or especially physically, protect yourself. That's one thing I always mean to say. I mean, because you see videos. I mean, there's this video that came out many years ago about this young kid, and he came out to his mom as atheist. Do you remember this video?
Yeah,
and she's like, Jesus Christ, Michael, no more presents for you. We're going to start going to church Do you remember this one?
Yeah, no more presents.
No more presents, and we're going to go to church every fucking week. Yeah, mom going to go to church saying we're going to go to church every fucking week? Yeah, I believe that. And just because he wouldn't do the conventional societal Christian nod your head, I wonder what happened to that kid. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I didn't come out as an atheist until I was an adult. But you know what I'm saying? I mean, but I was safe to do so. Right. I'm my own man, making my own money. Nobody's going to say nothing to me about me being an atheist. And if they do, well, fuck you. Right. But, if you come out as an adult, that's fine, as long as it's safe to do so. But if you're going to get kicked out of your house, if you're going to lose your relationship, if that's what happens, I mean, it's stuff that you need to be prepared for. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm ranting again.
No, it's okay. I mean, that's a very serious concern. And the thing about Ethiopia was well, first off, this was an American-sponsored thing. It was sponsored through the National Science Foundation, and it was through an American university, and we were working with a university in Ethiopia, and we weren't really going in the middle of Ethiopia or anything.
Okay.
So I feel like it would have been a relatively safe environment, but he had insisted that I had to act as a girl and appear as a girl, and I said, I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I have breasts still, so I can do that. That's all I've got for you.
Yeah.
But it was very awkward, and it was causing a lot of inner turmoil. So, because I'm going to New Mexico this summer to study geology also, and this was going to be directly after that. And I'm going to New Mexico as Erik. I'm staying in the men's rooms. I'm going to be acting as I am and presenting as I am. And even though that's somewhat female, because I still have stereotypical female body parts, I still identify as a man, and I'm trying to take the steps to present how I wish to.
Oh, that's great. I mean, that's who you are. If you identify as a man, and then if you say you're a man, then you're a man, and especially if that's how you feel. Do you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, hell yeah, if that's what you're gonna do, then do it. Because that's who you are.
Yeah, and before we got our room assignments and stuff, the professor came up to me and asked me. He was like, "So, what do you want to do about room assignments?" And I said, "Look, I'm a man, so you should room me with the other guys. But I can understand if you have an issue, so if you want to room the vaginas with the vaginas, you can do that too."
Oh, man. You kind of... I mean, if conditions are tight, I mean, I can kind of understand, but at the same time, it's like, demand who you are. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, especially when I'm paying $2,000 for this. So
exactly, you are paying money.
Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully I'm still really nervous though, because I still have a hard time using the men's restroom a lot of the time, because I feel like I don't fit there, especially if there's men in there. So I'm gonna have to get over that, and
yeah, you are.
It's gonna be an experience for me. And I hope that I get some good roommates that aren't gonna, I don't know, be judgmental or something. But
yeah, I hope. Well, I know it's not a causation thing, but people with higher levels of education tend to be more open-minded when it comes to religion, and tend to be less religious. So, these are people who are going for even higher levels of education than your typical bachelor's degree, right? Generally speaking.
Yeah.
So these people who, I hope you understand what I'm trying to say here, is that I hope that they're going to be even higher than that and be like, hey, look, this is a trans man and he wants to be a man, so we will treat him like a man. I hope that you get that.
Yeah.
I hope you understand what I'm trying to say here, that
yeah.
I'm not sticking my foot in my mouth and chewing to my knee.
Well, again, with problematic language, like saying wants to be a man, I feel like that's problematic.
Oh, God damn it. Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's so easy. I know what you mean. I know what you mean. And it's so easy to say these things, like, that normalize cisgender and ostracize transgender. But I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm actually supportive of, because you're not my first trans person I know. You're technically, third that I've known, and I know 5. I know 5. So, yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how they went in order. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, but as far as out trans, you're the third person I've known, and then I've known a couple of people after that. So, but you're the third trans person I've known. So yeah. But like I said before, I mean, I didn't even know any until after I retired from the Navy, and that was in 2010. So we're not talking that long ago that it's been, and it's only been a few years, and I'm still, sticking my foot in my mouth and chewing vigorously to my knee.
Yeah,
my knees are pretty bad. I don't bend that too well anymore. But I do support, and I am an ally. I mean, well, I really do.
I mean, absolutely. I know that. Even I'm saying things the wrong way, and I don't mean to. It's just society has pushed us into saying these things and thinking these things, and I have so much, I don't know, internalized transphobia, and I don't know, I have so much self-hate for myself because of who I am a lot of the time, and I love myself, and I'm really proud to be trans. I'm proud to be a trans man. I'm proud to be out, but at the same time, it's like a big internal battle that says it would just be so much easier if you were cisgender, but I don't think I would want to be cisgender if I had the choice.
If you're not happy, then don't do it. I mean, you know as well as I do that as atheists, this is the only life we have. There is no afterlife. There is nothing else but what we have here. Do things that make you happy as long as it doesn't infringe on other people.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So if you feel that you got a fucked up role from the genetics that put you as a female in genetically, but you don't feel female, that you feel male, then that's what you are. And so as you identify as a male, then that's what you are. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say here. That this is who you are. And so identify it and act as it. You know, I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. I mean, if that's what makes you happy, then do it. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Because literally this is all we have. Most of us only get, like, on average, what the lifespan of an average human in the U.S. is just under 80 years. Yeah. And that's not a long time. It's not. Do what makes you happy, Eric.
I know.
Get in your boat and row on, motherfucker.
My queer boat.
Whatever. Decorate that motherfucker with rainbows and pansies and posies or whatever. But row on.
Oh, so I think I'm pretty sure you know this, but I just want to say it because I'm very proud of it. I have a bunch of tattoos, but my favorite tattoo is it's a blue flower with a penis coming out of it on my leg, and I'm very happy about it.
Bravo. Yeah.
So
I love it. That's so fucking funny. Yeah, I've seen pictures of it. It's beautiful. It is a beautiful tattoo. I love it's what is that, like dark blue? It's like a navy blue flower.
Yeah,
and then the penis coming out is really very flesh toned. The artist did a great job.
Yeah.
It looks like a lotus. It looks like a lotus flower to me.
Yeah, it's like a weird cross of like either a rose or a lotus or something. I'm not really sure, but
do you know what it looks like? It looks like to me of like the old school black rose, black lotus from Magic the Gathering, from like from like Alpha or Beta or maybe even Revised. So it really looks like an old school black lotus to me. And then with the penis coming out of it, I think it's so great. I love that tattoo.
I really do too. I'm thinking of getting another one, but like a different style on my other leg.
I actually had a revised Black Lotus.
Really?
I had a revised Black Lotus. I'm not kidding. I had 5 of the Power 9, and they got destroyed. Oh, well.
Shit. I didn't know you played Magic.
Yes, I did. I started in Homelands and got out in 6th edition. Actually, my ex-wife destroyed my cards.
Oh, no.
It was one of the many reasons why she's an ex-wife.
Yeah.
So, okay. On that happy thing. So you were saying?
I don't remember what I was saying.
I don't remember. Are we both cranially flatulating because I brought us down? I'm going to kill myself now.
No.
Excuse me, I'm going
to... Well, please don't do that.
I know, I'm playing.
Speaking of killing yourself. No, I guess I could get it back to around to the main point I was trying to address, I guess, which was me coming out as trans. Which is an interesting story, I guess. Maybe it's boring. I don't know.
I don't know. You haven't said it yet. We'll find out.
Stay tuned. But so okay, I guess a lot of like the standard trans narrative that gets passed around, unfortunately, is when you're like 3 or 4 years old that your body's wrong. But that definitely wasn't me. Like, when I was 3 or 4 years old, I didn't know the difference between a boy and a girl. I just knew I was a person, and I was happy existing as a person.
Yeah, okay.
So I think...
That's pretty funny.
I just kept that... I guess I kept that mentality for, like, several years. Like, I guess I knew boys and girls existed, but I didn't, like, see myself as either or. I was just whatever people told me I was. So I guess that put me as a girl. But yeah, I didn't really identify as either. So
I remember, like, when I was a little boy, like a really little boy, I just played with whatever toys were around. Do you know what I'm saying? I didn't care whether I was playing with toy trucks or I grew up with cousins and I have a cousin who's younger than me by 5 weeks and a day who's a woman, a cis woman. And so we used to play together a lot. I mean, we're 6 weeks apart. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we played together a lot. And, I had a couple of older cousins. My sister's 6 years younger than me, but we weren't really raised together. So anyways, but I had my cousins who were with me, and there was 3 of them. And so 2 were older, and the youngest girl, my aunt's youngest girl, like I said, was 6 weeks younger than me. So there was an older boy who was like 5 years older than me. His younger sister was in the middle, and then the youngest sister 3 years after that. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So I would play with whatever toys were around, but I remember I was playing with like her Barbie dolls or something like that, and my uncle, he basically like slapped me or whatever, and it was like kind of like cuffed me on the back of the head. You know what I'm talking about? That, yeah. And said, "Little boys don't play with dolls."
I'm not surprised.
No, and this. Yeah, my uncle Victor. He's long since passed away now, but yeah, he was a piece of work, for sure. But yeah, I remember getting told stuff like this, and I'm not gay or anything like that. I can appreciate a guy and go, "That's a good-looking guy," but I don't want to suck his dick. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not like that. I'm not gay. So I was just, it was like there was a guy doll and a girl doll, Barbie and Ken, and they were playing house. You know what I'm saying? Which isn't you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
And I get slapped upside the back of the head saying, "Boys don't play with dolls." Well, isn't G.I. Joe a fucking doll?
Yeah.
What's the difference? The one has guns? I think that's really the only difference. So, I had all kinds of G.I. Joe dolls, and I'm talking about the big ones from back in the day. I had several of them. And then when the little ones came out, that was in the 80s, I was starting to get into my late single digits, early teen, so I kind of got away from the G.I. Joes, but, I still had a couple. But you know what I'm trying to say? I'm sorry. Side point again.
I agree. I think even today, a lot of people still see boys playing with dolls as like a homosexual act for some reason, even though 99% of the time they're playing as heterosexual dolls, like a girl Barbie and a male Barbie, and a Ken doll, I guess. But
yeah, Ken doll.
Yeah, so like they're and it's so strange to me that you wouldn't want your son like playing dolls and getting the sense of being a father, of like taking care of kids, like and all of that. I don't understand why you wouldn't want that.
But then you'll give them like little plastic army dudes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're playing with dolls. It's the same shit.
It's true.
What's like I said, what's the difference between a G.I. Joe and a Ken doll? Nothing. Other than the implied masculinity of somebody in the military. Let me tell you, as I've mentioned before, I knew people in the military who were obviously gay before the end of Don't Ask, Don't Tell. And then, people could come out and be, "I'm gay," Nobody cares. But do you see what I'm trying to say? I mean, there are gay people in the military.
Yeah, there are gay people everywhere. There are trans people everywhere.
And, I can't think of her last name. Manning? Chelsea. used to be Bradley, but now identifies as Chelsea. So her name is Chelsea. And I know a lot of people in the military, because I'm still on like those military pages and stuff, who are like, who say derogatory name for homosexual, can't have a sex change on my dime. Well, it's literally less than a dime for you, fuckhead. It's probably a fraction of a penny, so small it's not worth counting.
Yeah.
And so, and with the repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell, and the allowance of gay and transgender people in the military, they can get the surgery if they want to. So, fuck you, dude.
Speaking of surgeries, they're really fucking expensive.
How much? Do you have an idea?
Well, I only know the transmasculine surgeries. I don't know the cost of, like, trans feminine surgeries, but, to get my tits taken off and make it, like, look decent is, for the one I want, it's about $8,500.
For a mastectomy.
Yeah, so, well,
it's not a mastectomy. I'm sorry. What's the proper word?
I think it technically is a double mastectomy, but it's not for like breast cancer or something, so they don't file it as that.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm just using a word that I know of, removing a breast. I'm sorry if I'm using the wrong word. Please.
No, I think that is technically what it is, but they just don't call it that because the insurance doesn't consider it that, because it's for like apparently it's for like aesthetic purposes only, and it's not to help with your mental health or anything.
Even though it would help with your mental health, no longer having breasts because you see yourself as a man, not a woman,
and society will see you more as a man, and it, oh my god,
just a big, can we say it, duh.
Yeah, but yeah, so the one I want, there's different surgeries. There's, if you have really small breasts, you can get one called keyhole surgery, where they just like make a little incision, take out the little amount of fat, and then close it up, and that doesn't leave that doesn't leave like any scar, and that's really nice. But I am not an A cup, so that is not for me, unless I lose 100 pounds real quick. But yeah, so then there's, like, the most common that you might see is called a double incision. They make, like, two basically straight lines right under the breast tissue, and it leaves very long scars. They take out all the tissue. And
is it a horizontal or a vertical?
Horizontal.
Okay.
Yeah, so it looks like you have, like, two straight lines on your chest where your breasts were.
Okay. So it's basically the reverse of maybe getting an implant or something like that.
Yeah. But I don't know that much about breast implants, but I don't think they leave very much scar tissue, or like a very big scar.
No, they don't. I'm generalizing, just trying to put it in my mind, because I literally know nothing about this. So you're educating me as you're speaking. So go ahead, Erik.
That's good. Well, the trans feminine version would be to get a breast implant. Although, when trans women are on estrogen, they do tend to grow breast tissue. Obviously, it's different for everyone, but I know several trans women that have gotten up to B cups from obviously nothing, which is really awesome, I think, for them.
Wow.
They can have mine. I don't want them, but yeah.
Maybe I know of somebody who is a trans woman, and I think that you two should get together and exchange some body parts.
Yeah, I agree with that statement. But, so there's a double incision one where it leaves two big scars across your chest, and they, typically they'll take off the nipples, they'll size down the areola, and then they'll just, like, skin graft it back on. So you don't really have nipples, but you have different colored nipple tissue that looks aesthetically pleasing. Okay. As I was saying, so after the double mastectomy, there's also the one I'm interested in, which is where they keep the nipple stalk intact, so you still have like actual nipples, and you still have the scars, like the incision scars across your chest, but
Okay.
you also get to keep your nipples, but they trim them down because female-bodied people typically have larger nipples than male-bodied people.
Yeah. Although I've seen some freak males, supposedly freak males with, some pretty big nipples.
Yeah, and there's plenty of female-bodied people that have smaller nipples. It's just typically that's what they'll do. So those are like the three main surgeries. But they range from like $5,000 on the cheap end to about $10,000 on the high end. The one I'm looking at is about $8,500, and I would have to pay for that out of pocket completely because basically no insurance that I know of in North Carolina covers it. So
that is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, and then then there's
and then we're talking about recovery time too after that, and and drugs and anesthesia and blah blah blah.
Oh yeah,
man.
I wouldn't be able to afford staying anywhere. I would have to get the surgery, which it's not in my town. Even though I live in a big city, it's not here. It's actually in the other big city in North Carolina, in Charlotte.
Okay.
So I would have to I guess I would have to get someone to drive me there and drive me back because I couldn't drive afterwards, but it's about a 2.5 hour drive, and then it's a however many hour long surgery, and then basically it's a 6-week recovery period.
God damn.
And it just sounds really painful, really expensive, and awful, and
it's basically for cosmetic reasons. I'm sure that there are some. What was it? I heard a horror story not that long ago, because it was a woman transitioning to a man. It was a trans man who he didn't know that he had breast cancer, and the doctor didn't say anything or something like that because basically wasn't required to. So I don't know what I don't know what happened to this person, but it's breast cancer. That shit kills people all the time. So, I don't know what I'm only half remembering it, but I know that the half remembered part is that somebody in the office or the doctor, I don't remember exactly who, but basically didn't tell this man that he had breast cancer. And so, goddamn. That's horrifying to think about.
You know why they probably didn't?
Why?
Because insurance covers mastectomies for breast cancer.
Oh.
Yeah. That's probably why.
But still, though, that's horrifying. I mean, they remove more than just a breast for breast cancer. Usually they typically remove muscle and a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
So, still horrifying. So, yeah.
That's probably illegal. That's breaking your oath and whatever.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I mean, like I said, I half remembered this thing from just a couple of weeks ago. I saw it floating around on Facebook. So I remember being absolutely horrified and outraged. But it was a few weeks ago. I really don't remember the details. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. That's interesting, though. Then, of course, there's lower surgery, also called bottom surgery. It's like...
I've heard that.
Yeah, so it's basically changing your genital area. It does... There's several for the transmasculine, on the transmasculine side. I only know of the one on the transfeminine side, but I'm sure there are others. But typically, I'm sure in your head, you're just thinking, get rid of the vagina, get a penis, right?
But there's got to be way more to it than that. I mean, especially if you want to urinate out of it.
Yeah, so, okay, I'll give you a somewhat brief explanation, but So there's actually different surgeries you can get as a trans masculine person. When you're taking...
Can I just say this really fast? It's a goddamn straw. It really is. And, there is this old... Sometimes we said it in the military where it's like, if you shake it more than twice, you're jerking off and you're wasting my time.
Yeah.
We're such pigs sometimes. We really are.
Oh, I would also like to point out that not all trans people want to have surgeries. I'm just educating you on what you can get, I guess.
Okay, well, thank you. I appreciate that because, like I said, I literally know nothing about it. And it's one of those things where, the several trans people that I know, it's like some of them answered some very basic questions, but you don't want to go over a line and make them uncomfortable. And then how many times have they heard those exact same questions?
Fuck. It's true.
And so I've never wanted to push boundaries because I don't want to make anybody uncomfortable and talk about something that they've talked about like 50,000 fucking times. Do you know what I'm saying? And even though I'm coming with hey, I want to know, maybe you don't want to talk about it. Do you know what I'm saying? At that moment in time, maybe you might tomorrow or an hour from now, but at that moment in time, that person didn't want to ask. So I've actually asked very few questions because I've always wanted to not invade somebody's privacy. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and that's probably the respectful thing to do. But unfortunately, a lot of people don't do that. And a lot of the times people, like, the first question they'll ask is about what you want to do with your genitals and what you have in your pants. And
nobody's fucking business what you've got in your pants and what you want to do with your genitals.
Yeah.
No one's fucking business. No one.
It's really strange. Like, I don't go around asking cis people, like, hey, how big's your dick? How loose is your vagina? What's up with that? Like,
exactly. It's the same. It's the same thing. I mean, you wouldn't come up to a guy you met on the street and go, "Hey man, what you packing?" Well, I got a 45. No, motherfucker, that's not what I'm talking about.
Oh my god.
I got a 4.5, yo.
Oh, 4 or 5 inches? Yeah.
Yeah, that's about average.
Fuck, I'd be happy with 4 inches.
It's a visual joke, but it's kind of funny. Do you know why women are oh my god, it's really pretty crude, and I'm gonna say it because I'm kind of in a mood and we're having a great conversation. But you hold up your thumb and your first finger apart, about as far as they go.
Mm-hmm.
And you say, do you know why women are usually so bad at mechanical stuff? And then you hold this up and go, because they keep getting told all their lives that this is 6 inches.
That's pretty great. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm looking at my finger and my thumb right now, and I'm like, that's maybe 4
It's not 6 inches.
That's not 6 inches.
It's not 6 inches.
But I'd be happy with that. On myself.
You'd be happy with I'm talking about getting one attached. I'm sorry.
Well,
I'm really chewing vigorously to my fucking knee on that one. Did I just put my other foot in my mouth?
No, you're good. You can ask me any questions you want. I'll tell you if I don't want to answer it, but I'll probably answer it.
But do you understand what I'm trying to say? But I mean, if for a trans man if they wanted to have a bottom surgery, would that be good to have a phallus attached that would be that long?
Good is a relative term, but
I understand that. I hope you know what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to speak in a generality.
Okay.
I just want to bang my head against the table right now.
No, it's okay. I mean, you obviously don't know, and you've had no reason to research it other than maybe curiosity, which is kind of creepy. Maybe, I'm not sure, but
and I've never researched it.
Yeah, so, I mean, obviously I'm the first person that's talked to you about it, so you're doing fine, but, so, okay, as far as transmasculine...
Subtitle, Matthew gets really uncomfortable.
It's my favorite thing to do. Make you uncomfortable. But, so, when a transmasculine person is... Okay, so transmasculine people obviously don't have to be on hormones. No trans people have to be on hormones. But typically, a transmasculine person would be taking testosterone. And I'm also on testosterone. I've been on testosterone almost 8 months in about 10 days.
I've seen your pictures, and the transformation is really astonishing.
Yeah, when I look at it side by side, I definitely see it. And when I hear my voice from like 8 months ago, because I recorded some stuff to see how my voice changed throughout the time, it's crazy to hear how low my voice is now, even though my voice is still pretty high.
No, but your voice is actually pretty deep. I mean,
well, thank you.
You're welcome.
My laugh is awful. I feel very feminine when I laugh, but I like laughing, so I don't give a fuck.
And you shouldn't. So, fuck your God.
Yeah, fuck your God. But yeah, so you start off taking testosterone usually, and that changes a lot of things. That basically, if you remember how puberty was for you, basically I'm going through a very similar thing.
A second one.
Yeah, a fucking second puberty. It's the worst goddamn shit ever. I don't want it, but I want the things that happen with it, so...
Yeah.
Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah, motherfucker.
So, yeah, I'm getting acne. I'm horny all the fucking time because I'm a teenage boy right now.
Oh my God.
You have no idea.
No, I do, because I was a teenage boy.
Yeah, well, okay. You have no idea what it's like being in your mid-20s and being a teenage boy.
This is true, I don't. But I remember being a teenage boy, and I was beating that motherfucker like a redheaded stepchild.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we were talking with Molly last week. And what a great conversation, huh? Wasn't that was such a great episode, having that conversation.
Yeah.
But, she was talking about no masturbation and all that kind of stuff. And, excuse me, no way in fuck I could have done that. But
well, we're both going to hell, so.
Yeah. Well, no, there is no hell, so fuck that.
To them, to the Mormons and the Christians.
They can go to their hell. They're fucking Mormons. They can go to their fucking hell.
Right.
Bite my ass. So, anyways, you were saying. Fuck your God.
Anyway, so testosterone brings about so many changes. Like, it lowers your voice. You get acne. You're horny all the time. Other stuff. You sweat more. My smell has definitely changed. I definitely smell more manly, and it's disgusting, but it's great.
We're pretty gross. Men, we're pretty gross. I gotta say, yeah, we are. Yep.
And you get hairier.
Yep.
And I wish my facial hair would happen more quickly, but okay, I'll be patient. And then just to make you more uncomfortable.
Sure.
So I don't know if you know this, Matthew, but female body people have this thing called a clitoris.
Yeah, I'm aware.
Great.
I've seen one or two.
Okay, great. I think some men never find it.
No. Absolutely not.
But testosterone will enlarge the clitoris.
I've heard that.
Yeah. It's and it turns into like a small pseudo phallus, I suppose.
Wow. That's honestly really amazing to think about. I mean, just the changes that the chemicals bring. And what is it? I heard that in the body, in utero, we're all female. And then at a certain point during gestation, a very early point during gestation, that we get a chemical And then that will change us to more masculine or more feminine. And so basically, from what I understand, that basically the penis is basically the vagina that just grew out.
Yeah, or a vagina is an inverted penis.
Or an inverted penis. And so the testes, ovaries descended down to make the testes, or whatever. But do you understand what I'm trying to say? What was it? I saw a picture not that long ago, or a while ago, where it was a man and a woman, and how the cartoonist drew them was really amazing. Same body shape, but they gave the woman character longer hair, but they had the same torsos and the same body shape, right?
Right.
They gave the man shorter hair and some fuzz on his chin, and they're both at a beach, and they're both topless. And he says to her in a thing, "Jesus, put a top on," and they're identical.
Wow.
The double standard is amazing. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, it's awful.
For one, I mean, what was it? Did you listen to the latest Cognitive Dissonance? I don't know if you've heard it.
If you give me a slight summary or a reminder of what it was, maybe.
Well, it was literally just came out today for patrons.
Oh, just today? No, I didn't.
Yeah. Hang on, let me go to my. It's called the Shark Tank Idea. Anyways, so Tom was basically saying, and he was talking about permissions, actually. And he said that there could be a woman in a room furiously masturbating. If she says no, then you can't touch her. Do you know what I'm saying? So
right.
It's that whole point where I've seen these videos of women walking down the street and being catcalled, and there was this really famous video. I'm actually a member of the Facebook page Stop Street Harassment, where this woman photographed her, or not photographed, she was videoed herself walking down the street, and these guys are like, "Hey baby," and all that kind of stuff, and she responded back. And this one guy was walking silently along next to her for a couple of, he walked along next to her for 30 blocks.
Yeah.
And it's that's fucking creepy.
It is.
But anyway, seriously. But the whole point is that male or female, it should be irrelevant that, I don't know, it's kind of you see it's kind of famous in Starship Troopers, where they're showering together in the movie Starship Troopers, and nobody thinks anything about it.
Right.
That's really how we should be as a society. This fucking outdated thing about, well, women shouldn't wear low-cut tops or high shorts if they don't want to get fucking looked at. No, you're a fucking creep. Yeah. Women should be able to walk down the street butt-ass naked and not have anything said to them. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but this is the thing where I think where religion just so sexualizes us. And sex should just be a normal part, but not the made up end all be all of all society. I mean, it's just part of who we are. It isn't the end of who we are. I hope you understand my side point.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it should be irrelevant what somebody has or what somebody doesn't have. That it should be, you shouldn't really, and not because looking at them like that is sinful, or it's just fucking creepy. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. It is really creepy.
Sorry.
No,
I guess that's...
I don't know. I don't have the cisgender heterosexual male perspective here, but I don't think I've ever looked at anyone thinking, man, I want to go harass them and fuck them and touch them and whatever else. So I don't know if that's normal, but...
Well, I've
looked at people and been attracted to them.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm just saying, I mean, but you see this shit a lot, and I posted a video today or yesterday on my Facebook page. Maybe I'll post it to us when this releases. It was the difference between, and I guess it was like between cis guys and girls going to a club, and it was girls acting like men. And so, two men in a car, oh, maybe you'll meet a nice girl. And the two girls in the car, oh, I'm going to suck so much dick. I'm going to be like Mr. BJ. And she's, oh, and then this thing where this woman is like, oh, well, that's my thing where, I've got naked men dancing all over me. And he's spraying champagne on a man's back like you would see sometimes in videos, like basically the simulation of penetration from the rear.
Right.
And so, do you know what I'm trying to say? I mean, it's just reversed the view, the stereotypical view, and I want to say the gross stereotypical view of what's said, and a lot of times, and it's fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
That there's a lot of people who hold these views, and it's outrageous, and I really think it all goes back to the Bible making, don't have sex until you get married and only have sex for procreation. It's like, no, you know what I'm saying? We need to be above this, and we're not. And so I think that the sexualization of women and that kind of stuff, wearing, even anything kind of cute, and men are going to be like, hey, baby, no, you're a fucking creep.
I would like to say that I went to Iceland 2 years ago now, I guess. And
I really want to go. I'm so jelly.
Oh my god, we should go together and we could do a podcast there. Anyway, it's the best place on earth. I love it so much. Or the best place I've been to. I haven't been that many places, but their views on like nudity and sexuality and women, at least from the 2 weeks I was there, and what I saw, it's very different to America. For instance, before you got in the pool, you would get in a group shower room. It was separated by sexes, but like everybody was so comfortable being naked in front of each other. They would have conversations. It was fine. And out in the wild, if they had to like change their clothes or like they wanted to go swimming in the geothermal river, which we did, which was really cool, but they would just take their clothes off in front of each other, and it wasn't no big deal, and it wasn't sexual, and it was normal.
That's what I'm talking about. I think that the reason why is because of this is because they are a lot more atheistic society than we are. And one of the reasons why we are so fucking prudish here in the U.S. is because of the Puritans and shit like that. The hyper-religious that were fleeing England and Europe for religious reasons, came over here to the United States and started doing that shit to other people. But their more strict religious viewpoints became the norm. And so, of the modern countries, we are the most religious and I want to say the most backwards in viewpoints and that kind of stuff. We are just so hyper religious. The society is, but I really think that the internet has really changed a lot of people, and so we're becoming atheism is the fastest growing non-religion or whatever, you know what I'm saying, out there. So it's even beating Islam, which is the fastest growing religion. So, and more young people here in the United States are saying that they don't have a belief in a God more than any before.
Yeah.
So, anyway, side point. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's all very interesting, and I think it's all very interconnected, so.
Yes, I believe so.
Anyway, back to dicks.
Yeah, back to dicks.
My favorite thing. So bottom surgery. After you have you don't have to have the clitoral growth, I guess, but I think most people I've seen that get bottom surgery do have that. And there's a couple of different surgeries you can get. One of them is called metoidoplasty, which takes your growth and basically it releases the clitoral muscle, and that gives you like an extra couple of inches. So the growth you can get can be basically, it's generally an average about of 1 inch, but it can be up to 2 inches, maybe even slightly larger if you're lucky, I guess. It depends on each person's body, but so for metoidoplasty, they go in, release the clitoral muscle, and that it drops down somewhat, and then you get an extra inch or two. So that can be like, basically you'll have a phallus of about 3 inches on average if you get that surgery, and they will hook up the urethra through that so you can stand and pee with it and stuff. So that's one option. And then there's
it's not functional for sex though, is it?
I mean, as a small phallus, yeah, you can use it as sex, and that's the only way a transmasculine person currently can have a authentic erection. I was gonna say boner. That's not scientific. Erection.
But it's oh so accurate.
Yeah. So that's the only way. Because that the tissue when you get aroused will grow like somewhat. Yeah. So that's the way if you want, but. And you still like the clitoris is obviously like very sensitive, so it's fine for using to have sex with, and it's just gonna be small.
Yeah.
But then there's another option called phalloplasty, which takes skin from somewhere else on your body. Typically, it's the forearm is the best option. They can also use, if you're like a really fit person, they can use skin from your thigh or from your back. And they take, so basically look at your forearm, and they're going to take from right below where your wrist starts about 5 inches of skin. And that's going to be almost not the entire circumference of your forearm, but like 3/4 of the circumference. They're going to take that, and that's connected to a vein, an artery, and a nerve hookup. And they take the vein and the artery and the nerve hookup from your forearm. So they take all of that, and then they form that into a tube, into a phallus.
And the muscle too? They take muscle too?
I don't think they take the muscle. They take the whole fat and the skin area, but they leave your muscle.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is why it can't have like an erection or anything. It's not like an actual muscle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they take the skin, and then they take like skin from somewhere else on your body, and they graft that. Like if you take your forearm and they take all of that for the phallus, they go on your leg and they take the same size skin and they make a skin graft and put it on your arm so it'll actually heal.
Oh, okay.
So they take that, they make a phallus shape. It's approximately 5 inches. It's relatively thick usually. And then they'll form that, and this is the process of over 3 or 4 different surgeries. But they'll take that, form it, and let it heal. Then they'll take another bit of skin, and they'll form a smaller cylinder, which is the urethra extension, and they'll connect your urethra through it. And then typically they'll have some sort of sculpting surgery to form a head on your new phallus, so it looks like a cisgender circumcised penis, because there's really no way to make a not circumcised looking one currently.
Yeah.
But so they'll do that. And then there's also a thing called scrotoplasty, which is where, so currently currently you still have the vaginal opening, which if you want to keep it, you can keep it. But a lot of,
oh my god.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. No lie.
Oh, fuck your god.
To be honest, I don't think I'll ever have bottom surgery because it's hundreds of thousands of dollars and no insurance will ever cover it in the United States, but If I
so
had
this
the
is where
choice.
you get those, and what was it? Man, who was talking about this? Was it Riz McCool?
Probably.
Who was talking about this? Who was saying that this kind of fetishization of trans people, yeah, it was Riz McCool in the last Friday's episode of, yeah, my God, I'm so...
inciting incident.
The inciting incident, yes.
Okay.
But the name of the podcast, it came out Friday.
Oh, I don't remember.
And it was number 90, Polyaskery, or was it the one before?
I don't know. I listened to them at the same time, so.
Yeah. But I'm trying to remember. It might have. I think it was. But anyways, I think it was Riz who was basically saying that this is where you get some horrifying subgenres in porn for trans. And so, and it's really fetishizing trans men and trans women. And so, I'm drawing a blank right here in a second. But basically, it was like, this is when sexual assaults happen. You know what I'm saying? And that kind of stuff is that because, these guys, or usually it's guys who might be harboring some latent homosexual feelings. And so they're like, oh, well, this person is really a girl, but they say they're a guy, or vice versa. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Yeah. And so, and it's fetishizing this, and it's not okay to, it's okay to have fetishes, but do you understand what I'm trying to say? I mean, if this is how you are, if then these people are, because they want to do stuff on the down low and have a relationship. It's not fair to the trans person or the cis person who's not really cis, because if they're,
hetero, not cis.
Hetero, yeah. Man, I'm sorry, I'm just losing the definitions and stuff right now.
It's okay.
But anyways, you understand what I'm trying to say, right? Yeah, there's some horrifying things about this, and it's just like, people just need to be who they are, but like I was saying, religion says to them, oh well, you're really going after a girl, so it's okay. You know what I'm saying? No, fuck you. So anyways.
Yeah, I think that's a serious problem for a lot of trans women, because if they haven't had a surgery, or if they don't want a surgery, they still have a penis, and because that's all people ever think about, it makes men think that will be a good way to get their homosexual experience in. And I know trans women are so fetishized, like they're like chased, like they're called chasers, and like it's a bad thing. Like, it's okay to be attracted to trans people, but it's not okay to only be attracted to trans people because you want to get off to their different genitals or whatever.
No, that's fucking psycho.
Yeah.
That's insane. I mean, if you're attracted to a person, then you're attracted to the person, but don't fetishize a group of people. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and I completely agree with that. It's fucked up.
Fucked up isn't the word. That's beyond. Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, what we were saying about needing psychological help, these people need some help.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was just horrified there for a minute because of how people treat other people. So,
yeah, it's lots of fun to think about. that was sarcasm.
I know. I'm aware. So anyways, this surgery is going to cost $100,000 or better. And I was sitting there, I was thinking about it. I'm like, you're talking about at minimum, if you want to get, a phallus attached, you're probably talking 6 or 7 surgeries. I was thinking about that.
I think minimum is probably, I think they have some that do 3, but it can easily get up to 5 or 6.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. I mean, to get the one, to get it attached, the skin graft, the other skin graft, then the meatus on the phallus attached to it, and then to get a urethra put through it. It's a lot of surgery, and we're talking about a lot of downtime.
Yeah, it can take years to get through all the surgeries.
And I mean, I've had some surgeries, for various things. Like I've broken my nose 7 times, so I've had 2 surgeries to fix my nose. And so for each one, I was down for like a week and a half, and that was just my nose because I'd broken my nose 7 fucking times. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So to get my nose fixed, I was down for a week and a half. So, and I couldn't imagine what it'd be like to get your genitals having surgery on. Man, you want to talk about large amounts of pain. That's the area that's got the most, guess nerve endings of anywhere else in the body. So, so damn.
Well, the good news is the phallus you create doesn't have any nerves in it because you cut all of them off. Like, you cut it and they're dead. But the cool thing is you hook that up to the clitoral nerve, and then after, 10 months or something, that should be fully grown out. And then you should have an erotically sensate penis, and it's really cool.
Really?
It's so cool.
So it actually does eventually get nerves back into it.
Yeah. So
somewhat.
Yeah, it should take the clitoral nerve will grow out through the phallus, and you should be able to have tactile touch feeling, as well as erotic feeling, which is, I think that's just really cool. Even if I never get that, I just think that's the coolest thing.
It is. Is it possible to get penetration with that?
Oh,
or is it too soft to penetrate?
So that I meant to mention that. Right now there are 2 technologies used for that. One is just a rod that you a flexible rod you can have just put in when you have the surgery, and you can flex it up or down. But the other one is if you get scrotoplasty, which is where they close up the vaginal hole and they take the labia, put implants in them so they look like balls. And so in one of those you can have a device put in that it pumps some kind of fluid. I don't know what kind of fluid it is.
Really? So it looks like seminal fluid?
Well, no, it doesn't come out. It doesn't come out.
Oh,
but
okay.
It pumps up the phallus so it looks like you get a boner.
Oh, that's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, it is really cool. It's really cool. But
that is pretty fucking cool. And I'm, because sex is a part of who we are, so I'm actually glad that, that you can end up actually having some sex. You know what I'm saying? With a phallus that you get attached.
Yeah, and that's really important to a lot of trans guys.
Absolutely, because it's part of who we are. And when you're in a relationship with somebody, the sex act makes you feel closer to people. Do you know what I'm saying? At least to some, unless you're a hump and dump like some assholes are. But do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So
well, on that note, I think we can end this episode, and we can continue discussing more trans penis things in the next episode, because I know that's what all of our listeners want to hear about.
All of our one listener.
Okay. I guess we should say bye.
Okay, so so this is our version of a hump and dump. We just got finished talking about trans shit, and then we're done.
Yeah, hear about my dick, and we're done.
All right. Well, this is Matthew for Odd Atheist Friends Podcast number 4.
Number yeah.
4.
Number 4.
Number 4. So we'll see you later.
See ya.
Bye. Thank you for listening to the Odd Atheist Friends podcasts. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please contact via email at oddatheistfriends@gmail.com or message us on Facebook at facebook.com/OAF podcast. We now have Twitter. Please follow us there at OAF podcast. Don't forget to support us on Patreon at www.patreon.com/OAF. This is Matthew and Erik of the Odd Atheist Friends Podcast. Have a great and godless day.